After weeks aboard the RFA Sergeant and days dug into the side of this miserable hill with precious little sleep and absolutely no Persil automatic other brands are available, we were beginning to look like something from the Dirty Dozen. We didn't have time for all the parade ground bullshit and washing every day as you do when on exercise had gone by the by due to more pressing matters like trying to shoot down enemy aircraft, faced with a choice of using our meager water supply for washing the cam cream off our faces so we can put more cam cream back on, or using it to make a nice hot cup of tea. Well, I'll use it for tea, thanks. How come Charles Bronson always had a face full of stubble and a hot brew in the movies? Most of the time it was blowing a gale, with sleet and hail that lashed horizontally into you and stung any exposed flesh. Most days, wind chill meant it was well below zero, just the usual Falklands climate. During the balmy summer of 1982, one morning, I noticed some bodies in all-around defense near our position. It was obvious they were Brits from their huge Great Bergen rucksacks, which was a good job, given the fact that I hadn't spotted them arrive, and eventually it dawned on me that the Gurkhas had arrived. Thank God I'm just a crap hat, and I don't have to lug all that shit around. Being just a buckshy squatty, I put myself in their position and realized I'd be ticking like fuck by now, especially if I was from the hot climate of Nepal. As a static rapier position, we had reasonable cooking facilities. It wasn't exactly the Hilton, but we could rustle up a couple of weights. I mentioned this, and my idea found its way along the chain of command. From me to Benny, from Benny to Taft, Taft to Bob, and Bob to the Milky Bar Kid. Our offer of hospitality was approved and eagerly accepted by the Nepalese lads, and we quickly got the kettle on for them, even though they were shivering in their boots. They considered it an honor to be invited to our little bit of England. And what a jolly decent chap our TC was, having an idea like that. It was the first time that I'd seen a Gurkha up close, and they were very different to how I'd imagined them. They were great little guys, very humble, quiet and happy with their lot despite the conditions. As an added bonus, they ended up stopping the night when their choppers were rerouted to another task. A couple of them kept in our latrine trench, and they didn't even moan about that, though it can't have been the most incredible night of their lives. Having these boys sitting nearby on stag all night gave us the safest and most relaxed few hours of the whole operation by a considerable distance. We shook hands with them the next day, and I watched as these walking Bergens disappeared into the hills, keen to get some South American blood on their cookeries. It made you shudder to think, glad they were on our side. The air raids continued, but the gaps between them became longer as the enemy lost a lot of aircraft on each sortie, depending on which reports you believe, and they reconfused because the Argentinians have never properly confirmed them. Up to 15 aircraft went down a day. 3 to Alpha didn't play any more part in those kills at San Carlos though. To add to our malfunctioning radar IFF system, we now had a faulty tracker head. The tracker head's job was to be the eyes of the missile. Because of the IFF fault, Bob would physically spin it in the direction of the attacking aircraft. As I picked it up in the binocular sight, sometimes it worked and sometimes it did not work. If it was busted, we were screwed. It was clear that we needed assistance to get it fixed. While we did our best, I'm sure with our kit blobbing we would have had more successes. The main ordnance used by the enemy aircraft was high explosive bombs, rockets and cannon fire, but on the odd raid, they used retard bombs, a floating killer that descends slowly, swaying underneath parachutes. That really freaked me out. These things just seemed to hang there forever, directly above my head, mocking us, a nasty bit of kit. I'd rather not see the thing before it turned me into compost. Thanks. Luckily, none of these hit our position, though some landed too close for comfort and shook the ground around our trenches, and one did explode on a trench nearby, killing a sapper called Gandhi. We were in almost as much danger from our own side, to tell the truth. One day, a stray shell fired by our gunner buddies from 4th Field Regent Royal Artillery, Paraz, landed very near to us. That would have been a nice way to go, a blue-on-blue incident with some moron from Colchester or Cornwall pulling the plug on you. I had a chance to slot a sergeant major, and I was to live to regret not continuing with a second pressure on my trigger. In wartime, as on exercise, you were given a daily password, with a challenge and a response. For instance, the challenge might be Bravo Oscar and the response Charlie Sierra. The only difference is that it is not particularly good for your health to forget the password in wartime. I was on stag. It was just getting dark when I heard movements to my rear. I spun around in the direction of the noise and saw a shadowy figure coming towards me. My throat contracted and my mouth dried instantly, so I could hardly get the words out. Halt. Bravo Oscar. It's me, Geordie. Wrong answer. Bravo Oscar, cock weapon. It's me, Geordie the T, he said in a mildly hysterical voice, somewhere between a whisper and a scream. By now my eyes were beginning to adjust to the darkness, and I could make out the figure of our TSM. I suddenly started to enjoy this. It's not every day you get a sergeant major just where you want him. Bravo, Oscar, I said in a louder voice. I haven't got the new password, he bleated pathetically. I decided, reluctantly, to cut him some slack. Being a TSM Geordie would have plenty of opportunities to make my life a misery if I pushed it too far. Okay sir, advance and be recognized. He approached my trench and, instead of getting in and maybe getting dirt on his combat boots, he stood there like he was on the parade square, silhouetting himself nicely for any enemy snipers in the vicinity. He proceeded to spew out a load of verbal diarrhea about the spares we needed, and how we might be on the move soon, how the BC battery commander had apparently threatened to punch the BK battery captain. You can't have to be CS, so the latter is BK. If he didn't get his shiny arse from the comparative comfort of HMS Fearless and onto the islands, he then turned on his heel and marched off back to our admin area. He didn't really need to be up here, and he might at least have brought us up a hot brew with him. I hoped Quinny or someone else would challenge him, forcing him to endure the embarrassment of not knowing the password again. Then again, he might do us all a favor and stay away. The way it works is this: Gunner shoots Sergeant Major equals murder. Sergeant Major shoots Gunner equals idiot forgot password. Unfortunately for 3-2 Alpha, he didn't stay away, and we had a couple of nasty run-ins with our